that's where we're at now. And we have number one Georgia 7-0, 5-2 Florida, plus 14.5 point spread, over under 47.5. This game reminds me of a game from about 15, 16 years ago, but it was in reverse. You had a dominant Florida team, Tim Tebow, everybody pulled up, looking good, ready to kick some Georgia butt. And then next thing you know, Georgia went out there and absolutely annihilated them. They didn't kill him, but it was pretty much the end of the Florida Gators little run there at the time. So I truly feel what goes on in this game is going to be a very good definitive answer for what the SEC is going to be for the rest of the year. This is a very, very key game, and I can see an upset happening here, but I'm not going to go crazy and be like, okay, give me the dog money and blah, 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 blah. I think that the 14.5 is just good enough right there because this game is going to be a lot closer than 14.5. The Gators are going to turn on their defense in this game. Brock Bowers, I'm guessing that he's out of this game, but Georgia's supposed to be a top end team. Brock Bowers should have a backup that can be, better than him. You know what I mean? That's how the great ones do it. You know that, Jeff. Hey, we got the starter, but the guy behind the starter is even better. That's how the great college teams are. But we will see if Georgia is just one of the great college teams. But we know that they're in position to pretty much steamroll Florida, but this is a rivalry game. Florida's not going to lay down like that. And the last rivalry game that the Florida had where they came in there super pumped up, it was the Tennessee game, and they won that. But this is going to be tough because Georgia ain't Tennessee. And really, at the end of the day, I truly do feel the plus 14.5 is the right play. But we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. And I think that we're going to get the over in this game as well, too, Jeff. What are your thoughts, and who do you have winning the game?
It's funny. I have such mixed emotions here because Georgia 4-0 to start the year and didn't cover. And actually, I think 5-0 and didn't cover. And then in comes a Kentucky team, just miraculously was 14.5 point dogs. And Georgia woke up and they steamrolled them. And correct, Brock Bowers will be out maybe the rest of the year. Doesn't have any reason to come back. Why hurt your stock as one of the top 10 players coming out of college this year? We'll see if he plays in the SEC championship or the Final Four if Georgia makes it. Vegas has this one pegged at 31-17, right on 14, right at the 47.5. But as I was scrolling through my Circa app here, I'm looking for games that have the same kind of spread and what some of the money line favorites are. And I go to a 12.5 with the Air Force, and they're minus 500. Maryland minus 13.5 against Northwestern, they're minus 500. And I had one other correlation here. Where was it? North Carolina 11.5 minus 440. The reason I bring it up is that this Georgia team is 14.5 point favorites, and they're only minus 550, and Florida plus 430. Something smells to me here. Now, I do too like the Florida plus 14.5. But that money line doesn't smell right. Georgia should be more in the 650 range. So I'm going to go on record here, Pops, on 423 on 1026 and say Florida plus 14.5 and sprinkle a little something on pizza and beer money on them plus 450 to shock the world and win outright, Pops.
Yep. And you know what? Mitch and Paulie, I'm going to tell y'all right now, y'all better cut a check already because pizza and beer money is Jeff Dawson saying that he was saying when we was doing Capcast back in 2015. And put your money where your mouth is. Fox, I'm still waiting on that check, but they canceled that show, so we good. You know what I mean? Because Fox was the first one with a bet show, and all those guys they saw the writing on the wall pretty early, so they jumped out of that situation. You know what I mean? They already had 3 failing shows as is. They can't have a fourth one. Well, they got 2 good ones, and I think Speak is that's just commercials and father. You know what I mean? The other day they were talking about the new subject of what's a good first date. And as I keep saying, if she likes you, she'll go anywhere with you. Stop dating people online. That's just the bottom line of the situation. That's all it is. But I gotta let
I
Jeff go.
agree.
We're gonna take our commercial break. I thank you so much, sir, for coming in. Giving us the extra time as well, too, talking college football with us as well. We got talking tickets coming up after this. If you guys need to catch up with Jeff, you guys can follow him at East Coast Sports Investors. Also, and that's his handles pretty much everywhere. Jeff got a great show coming up in a few minutes. I'll make sure to retweet that for him as well, too, so you guys don't miss out on that. But all in all, thank you so much to the Don of Cape Cod for joining us today. And we will be back next week, hopefully on Thursday, if I can keep if I can bring them back because I keep going over the time limit. But